What's up, Roy? Thank you so much for another video. Can you make more money with crypto, risking less of your capital than you make on Forex side? Just a little perspective of what you can make trading crypto with the same account size than from Forex. Is there a correlation? Like, can you make more money with crypto, risking less, trading less? What's your perspective on that?
Yeah, well, it's an interesting question because for me it was naturally happening. So I was basically trading both markets at the same time, had separate accounts for both markets, and just saw what was happening over time. A year, 2 years down the road, I started to notice the difference, and I wanted to lean into it and see if it's real and why. Why was there a big difference in the performance for me using the same trading system to execute trades in both markets separately, right? So, yeah, after collecting enough data, and I'm talking about hundreds of trades, right? I'm talking about a year and a half of trading. Use that as a source of data to give me some idea on the differences between the markets, right? Because again, I was using the same strategy. I was using the same trading system.
Yeah.
So after a year and a half, I saw the results. In the Forex side, I was still around break even. On the crypto side, I was plus 60%, right? It was a huge difference. So I tried to dive into it and understand why, right? And again, it all started also it almost started by mistake, by accident, right? Because I just wanted to run both markets in a separate account. But I also knew that I had problems with the Forex market because I couldn't make it. I couldn't break the market. I couldn't make sustainable profits over a long period of time to be able to quit my day job, right? So going back into this after a year and a half of collecting data, I started to realize that the Forex market has a lot of problems. I already knew that, but in comparison to the cryptocurrency market, I started to notice that the cryptocurrency market is just a lot more cleaner.
Yeah.
It's just a cleaner market where it's decentralized, so you don't have the manipulation that that is prevalent in the forex market from the central banks, right? Central banks that really run the market. Basically, they're the market makers.
Yeah.
And yeah, and we talked about that in the previous interview, the way they do stop hunting and the manipulations that you have in that market just makes it very, very hard
Yeah.
to make a profit, to
Yeah.
become profitable consistently profitable
Yeah.
over the long run. Where in the cryptocurrency market, we don't have that. We don't have those players that run the market. It's a decentralized market run by the people. So I feel like this could be a big reason
Yeah.
of why you want to be focusing on the cryptocurrency market rather than the forex market. Another important aspect to that would be just the nature of the market. So with regards to the cryptocurrency market, I see that as a growing market,
Yeah.
something that's going to be here for centuries, right?
Yeah.
It's just like the stock market, something that's always going to grow over time.
Yeah.
Where you don't have that in the forex market. The forex market is not a growing market.
Yeah.
It's a zero sum game market. It's one
Yeah.
economy versus a second economy, which it makes that market to be rangy instead
Yeah.
of growing over time. It's just rangy,
Yeah.
which is another reason why I think we call the forex market the wild wild west, right? Because it has no order in it.
Yeah.
It lacks that order. It lacks that flow that I can see coming from the stock market, I can see coming from the cryptocurrency market.
Yeah.
So I feel like the Forex market is probably not the best place for experienced traders and more so beginners. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Why do you
Yeah.
think a lot of beginners, like when they want to get into trading, the first thing that they focus on is Forex, Forex, Forex? A lot of people still think of crypto as I have to put my money in and I have to walk away and it's got to grow. Like I have to put all my money into my wallet and I have to buy $100,000 of Bitcoin and leave it, and then the fluctuation. I don't think a lot of people are aware that they can actually trade the crypto market with a broker exactly like they trade the Forex
Mm,
market. What's your
right.
opinion on that?
Right. That's a good point. It's a lot about education, I guess. Like people got used to holding cryptos in wallets and exchanges, right? Where you literally hold the coin. You buy, you buy you buy, let's say you buy the Bitcoin. So you actually hold a portion of digital currency in your wallet or in your exchange
Yeah,
account, and you just basically wait. You hold, you buy, and you hold.
yeah,
Because you're expecting the market to keep growing, so once it goes up, you might sell it later down the road. Problem with that is the market fluctuates. As far as short-term cycle goes, it can go either way, right? And you have sometimes you have a bear market
yeah,
where for a few months, maybe even a year or a year and a half, it's all downside. It's all
yeah,
it's going south, and that is almost like it's putting people in a tough position because they have to wait for so long for the market to come up, to come back up, to recover.
yeah,
They don't realize that they can easily make money from a falling market. So instead of holding those coins, right, in their cold wallet
yeah,
or with an exchange, they can simply do what they did with the Forex. They can open an account with the broker. All brokers today provide cryptos.
yeah,
So you're trading on cryptos. Instead of holding the coin, you're putting a position against that coin.
yeah,
It's called CFD, contracts for difference. So you get into that CFDs on cryptos. So if you think the Bitcoin is going down, instead of just waiting for it to complete that downside move and then potentially later down the road start to recover,
yes,
you just put a short position
yeah,
to actually profit from a falling market, just as you do with the
yeah,
Forex.
yeah,
But yeah, I guess the awareness of that possibility is not there yet.
yeah,
People don't realize that yet. Like you can treat cryptos just as you treat Forex. For me, it's completely symmetrical. It doesn't matter to me what the market does. I just need to know what it's going to do.
yeah,
And if I think it's going to go down, if it's going to go south, that's great. That's perfect. I'm closing all my bullish positions, all my buy positions, and I'm switching. And I'm starting to short the
yes,
market wherever I see opportunities.
yes,
So, yeah, that's what day trading is. Like you buy and you sell regardless of the underlying trend.
yeah,
And that makes this type of activity is recession proof
yeah,
because you don't have to get nailed for a year and a half of a bear market. You
yeah,
just flip over and you start to trade
yeah.
downwards.
One thing that I think of now is politics. Obviously, when you go into the Forex market, politics has a direct impact on the movement and the cycles of the currencies. And you don't necessarily have that in crypto. Or do you have some form of external sources that might play a role in the crypto market?
So when it comes to geopolitical events, that affects all markets. all markets at the same boat when it comes to geopolitical events. And you'll also see all markets behave similarly. So when big things happening, all markets are in line and they're affected similarly. So, for example, this we had this issue with tariffs, right? That's a major geopolitical event,
Yeah.
and we saw how the impact was all across the board. The markets were basically nosediving everywhere. We're talking about the stock market, the futures, cryptos. They were all impacted. The market is affected by multiple sources of economic data. So, for example, you know, an interest rate cut, right, in one country or in the United States, an interest rate cut would impact the forex market heavily. All sorts of economic data that's coming in on a daily basis will have an effect on the forex market. You don't have that in the cryptocurrency market.
Got you. So
GDP.
those spikes and those things, you don't see that necessarily with all these announcements and NFPs and all that.
Right. NFP and GDP and all these economic data that's coming from a lot of countries, right? It may
Yeah.
come from Japan or it may come from Britain. All those data points that are affecting the market in a violent fashion sometimes. Short term, but still pretty violent. And that's where your stop loss is getting jeopardized, right? Because we all have to trade with stop loss levels. Stop loss is like an insurance policy.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in a position with no stop. Something can happen. A black swan event can happen.
Yeah.
A war broke or whatever, something big. You don't want to be exposed to a scenario where you're going to be wiped out,
Yeah.
right? So you have to stop loss level in. But in the forex market, because this avalanche of economic data that's coming in daily, that's a problem. That's a problem to your position having a stop loss level in place because it just takes one economic data to send a vicious spike, triggering your stop loss level,
Yeah.
and you're already having a loss on that position, regardless of where it's going to go naturally
Yeah.
right after.
Got
what I
you.
mean? So we don't have these things in the crypto market. We don't have these economical data coming in every single day affecting the market. No. The market is affected by geopolitical events like every other market, but it's much cleaner and it has a lot more order to it.
Got you.
So instead of trying to dodge bullets all day long, because that's how I felt when I was trading in the forex market.
Yeah.
Every hour, every 2 hours, a new economical data is coming in, and you just have to dodge that bullets.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is one of the biggest differences between these markets, alongside the rest of the things that I've
Yes.
mentioned.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Roy. Thanks for this information. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to the next video. I think these videos are very informative and it's a great perspective to see what people are actually missing out on, because we've got the Forex market and everyone's crazy about Forex, but only a small percentage of those people actually make it. And with the crypto
Yeah.
side of things, like you said, it's more cleaner. There's more control in that market. And that's why people that can actually trade the Forex market will do very well in the crypto market. And that's what you are advocating. And a lot more people should be
Yeah.
aware of this. And we're going to keep on discussing this topic in the coming weeks. Thanks so much, Roy.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, my friend.
Cool, man.
God bless.
Have a
Take
good
care.
day. Cheers, cheers.